Today I thought we would do something a little different from what we normally do. I thought it was time for an old man yells at cloud type of video. Now you probably read the title. I want to make sure that we're on the same page before I start here. I absolutely love what I do. I have a huge passion for what I do. Words can't describe it. But I think every YouTuber out there, especially small ones, tend to run into this issue where they fall into these pitfalls. And, you know, I kind of compare it to running through a minefield with a blindfold on. You're gonna fall into some holes, probably lose a limb or two. That's just the way the YouTube site works. And today I thought we would talk about that because I honestly don't think that a lot of people do. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. If you're not, get the hell off my video. I honestly think that YouTube can be one of the most toxic hobbies you can have as a person. I mean, when you make social media your lifeblood and passion, you're bound to run into ruts. Especially when social media specifically has been discovered to cause mental health issues with teens and adults. So you already know this isn't going to be a good wombo combo here. But for many dumbasses like myself, we all ignore that possibility because, you know, making content fills just a void in your heart. It very quickly becomes a lifestyle instead of just a hobby. Like heroin. Not as cool or good as drugs, obviously, but still kind of like it. And I think that's because a lot of people see what YouTube could potentially become. You know, they see the fancy money, the fancy cars, the fancy fame lifestyle. It's all very appealing to someone on the outside of that. I think there's a few different things on YouTube that makes it specifically toxic when comparing it to other social media sites. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Starting off with the first one, the 10 out of 10 video ranking. Now, I'm sure most small YouTubers watching this know what that means, but for the people that don't, when you post a video on YouTube, YouTube automatically gives it a ranking after 3 hours. That ranks it 1 out of 10. Out of the last 10 videos you've posted, it ranks that video somewhere within that range. I will tell you right now, there is not a more bone-crushing feeling than when a video that you've worked very, very, very extremely hard on gets ranked a 10 out of 10. That shit is brutal, man. It feels like your heart's getting ripped out of your chest. It's tough. The craziest part, and what makes me the most angry about this feature, is that it is virtually completely useless to a YouTuber like me. But I can't tell you how many times in the past that I've gone into YouTube Studio, seen that a video is performing 10 out of 10, and just gotten all sulky and all pissed about it, and, you know, kind of disappointed in myself. I was like, and thinking like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm not so good at this YouTuber thing. And I gotta say, for the statistics that it gives, it's just not worth it. And there used to be a feature that you could use to hide that statistic. So what I used to do up until literally like last week is I would close up that 10 out of 10 ranking so I wouldn't even look at it anymore because it was just so pointless. And even though I don't get mentally affected by it, I still know that there's YouTubers out there, especially small ones just starting out, that do get affected by that. The one way you could stop that statistic from being toxic is by just ignoring it. Now, obviously, I know that is way, 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 way easier said than done. But I'm lucky in the space that I've had because I've seen those videos go from 10 out of 10s to 1 out of 10s. I have 1 out of 10s to 10 out of 10s. You know, I know the statistic doesn't really matter at all. Videos will fluctuate. No two videos are alike. So I've seen with my own two eyes that shit doesn't matter on the screen. So if you're a small YouTuber watching this, please, 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 for the sake of your mental well-being, just realize that statistic doesn't really matter that much. Alright, I've talked 16 fucking minutes about the 10 out of 10 ranking. Do you think I was pissed about it or something? Jesus Christ. Alright, moving on to the next topic. r/NewTubers and YouTube gurus. My god, I hate this subreddit so much. I already hate Reddit with a fiery passion, but this Reddit just takes it to a whole other level, man. I've never seen more enabling and excuses in my entire life than I have on that subreddit. So when you're starting off as a new YouTuber or you're a tiny YouTuber, you look for a sense of community. Maybe people going through the exact same process you are, where they're starting their channel with you, and you kind of look for that community. So you go over to r/NewTubers or maybe a Discord server or something like that, and you try and get ingrained with the community. The problem with that Reddit specifically, and I'm sure many other YouTuber Reddits out there, is that one, they are excellent at just enabling and making excuses, as I've already mentioned. And number two, there's a lot of terrible advice on that subreddit. The amount of times, if I swear to God, if I see another person talk about their channel being shadow banned or something like that, I'm gonna fucking lose it. I'm gonna go swinging through the screen. I swear to God. So the concept of being shadow banned or locking a channel is a constant topic on that subreddit. And I'm sure for a lot of new YouTubers joining that subreddit, they see that, they see a lot of people are talking about it, and they're like, you know, my channel isn't getting any views. Maybe I'm shadow banned. Brother, that could not be farther from the case, let me tell you right now. So I'm sure most of you know this by now, but I've been doing YouTube for a very long time. I have had many channels in the past that have had varying amounts of success. And I've had channels that have fallen under the exact, like, requirements you would need to be considered shadow banned according to the Reddit. And I'll just get it out of the way right now. I was not shadow banned. My channel was not locked or anything like that. My content was just shit. And so was my thumbnails and titles. I think a lot of YouTubers, specifically new ones, kind of look at their content and think that it's better than it is. I'm sure I'm guilty of the same thing. I know I certainly was in the past. I might even be guilty of it now. The other day, I actually went through my old channel to just go down memory lane. You know, I like to do that sometimes, see how far I've come. And I was going through the titles and thumbnails and the videos, and the whole time I was just thinking, man, this shit is so ass. So that's just a small piece of the Reddit. Now, another thing I want to talk about that's kind of going off the Reddit, but I'm sure still exists in that little space of things, is the YouTube gurus and their advice. Now, the YouTube gurus, they're fucking useless, man. Okay, well, no, they're not completely useless, but they give you the most run-of-the-mill basic advice. They basically have a half a dozen tips, and they reuse those same half a dozen tips over the entire span of their channel. And what they do is that they will repackage it in some way, shape, or form, and they will sell it to you as brand new content for you to expand your YouTube channel and grow your following and make shit tons of fat stacks on fat stacks. But sometimes there's small YouTubers out there that will watch these videos and consume and consume and consume and just keep watching them. And with that, they start to focus on optimizing their content instead of just making videos, which should be the #1 priority when you're a YouTuber. It all starts to become very hollow and honestly feels very corporate-y. I'm actually kind of curious. I'm gonna go to YouTube and I'm gonna look up a YouTube guru and I'm gonna see if I can tell the points that they have in their video. I bet you I can. Alright, so looking at this one right here, big mistakes small channels are still making. I bet he's gonna mention video packaging, where he talks about how you need to have a good thumbnail for your video. I bet he's gonna talk about how you need to keep viewers to the end. What's the other thing I haven't covered? Oh, okay, I changed my mind. The other thing I want to mention is that I bet you he's gonna mention something about the video topic that you make a video on.
Comes down to the video.
Ideas? Video idea? Done. That's 1. Video packaging? That's 2. Okay. Oh my god, I'm so sick of this. What's the last one? Retention! That's watch time, baby! I said that, right? Fuck, I could be a YouTube guru, man. I think it speaks volumes for these YouTube guru channels when they have almost 2 million subs and barely crack 40,000 views in a video. That's pretty bad. So anyway, you get the point. When you're a small YouTuber, you get exposed to a lot of shit. A lot of people kind of giving you the worst advice, the most general advice, and it's very easy to get stuck in this minefield of just, you know, going through shit. The next thing I want to touch on is channel slumps. Now, a lot of channels do go through these slump periods where they aren't necessarily pulling the same amount of views that they used to maybe a couple months ago or even the last week. Now, it's totally normal. Sometimes channels do go through that. Sometimes video ideas just aren't as good as they used to be. It can be very toxic when you are trying to make videos and you think you're making the best videos, the best fucking bangers of all time, and they're performing terribly. That's a pretty hard thing to get through. But as I've said, it has a lot to do with how your channel is packaged, how you're making videos, what are your videos about. So if you're a small YouTuber watching this, I guarantee you, if you have a very large channel with a lot of subscribers and you're not getting that many views, it's because your videos and packaging aren't that great. That's something I've learned how to do over the years, and it's been a very, very long path to get there, believe me. But it is possible to get out of that slump. Now, I can comfortably say that as a small YouTuber, I'm lucky because I don't have to deal with any of these hurdles anymore, really. Now, obviously, it took 8 years to get here. In the last year, having this whole T-board channel here, actually I think it's only been 10 months, but I've really stopped caring. Now, obviously that doesn't sound great, but I mean, when I say I stopped caring, I've stopped caring about the things that I can't control. So I've read a bit of Stoic philosophy. I know I'm one of those guys that reads a fucking philosophy book for fun, but it's taught me a lot about not worrying about what you can't control, or at least not getting so mentally hung up on what you can't control. I'm lucky in the sense that I've gotten to the point where I have a fantastic and engaging community, and I'm enjoying making videos on a channel that's growing. It doesn't get any better than that when you're a small YouTuber. So anyway, this is a video that I just wanted to make. I don't think a lot of people really talk about the pitfalls of small YouTubing, so I thought might be good for me to talk about it. I hope you enjoyed and maybe got something out of it. I'll see you guys later.